All right, guys. We're back with a word. It's Jeremiah 5:1. We're going to read through it and discuss. It says, "Roam through the streets of Jerusalem. Look and take note. Search in her squares. If you find one person, any who act justly, who seek to be faithful, then I will forgive her. When they say, 'As the Lord lives,' they are swearing falsely. Lord, don't your eyes look for faithfulness? You have struck them, but they felt no pain. You finished them off, but they refused to accept discipline. They make their faces harder than rock, and they refuse to return." Then I thought, they're just the poor. They have played the fool, for they don't understand the way of the Lord, the justice of their God. I will go to the powerful and speak to them. Surely they will know the way of the Lord, the justice of their God. However, these also had broke the yoke and torn off the chains. Therefore a lion from the forest will strike them down. A wolf from an arid plain will ravage them. A leopard keeps watch over their cities. Anyone who leaves them will be torn to pieces, because their rebellious acts are many, their unfaithful deeds numerous. Why should I forgive? Your children have abandoned me and sworn by those who are not gods. I satisfied their needs, yet they committed adultery. They gashed themselves at the prostitute's house. They are well-fed, eager stallions, each neighing after someone else's wife. Should I not punish them for these things? This is the declaration. This is the Lord's declaration. Should I not avenge myself on such a nation as this? Go up among her vineyard terraces and destroy them, but do not finish them off. Prune away her shoots, for they do not belong to the Lord. They, the house of Israel and the house of Judah, have dealt very treacherously with me. This is the Lord's declaration. They have contradicted the Lord and insisted it won't happen. Harm won't come to us. We won't see sword or famine. The prophets become only wild, for the Lord's word is not in them. Wind. My apologies. The prophets become only wind, for the Lord's word is not in them. This will in fact happen to them. And so what I'm seeing here is that these are the Lord's chosen people. And there's been grace given into lack of knowledge, right? He says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And what the author Jeremiah here is saying is, maybe the poor people don't know the way of the Lord. So maybe there can be grace here because they don't know. There can be mercy because they don't know. But then he goes to the powerful. He goes to those that should know, that are expected to know, that lead the nation of God. And yet, those have torn off the chains. They've broken the yoke. And we know that the yoke of Jesus is easy and light. It is not burdensome. He takes our burdens, right? And the Lord is over here asking, why should he forgive them? They abandoned him. They committed adultery. They go to those who are not even gods to satisfy their needs instead of coming to him, the one who gives provision. And they're well fed. They're well fed. He is providing for them, and they are well fed, yet they don't acknowledge him. They don't follow his statutes. They don't follow him, even though he is the one providing for them. And yet, about here, He says, go up among her vineyard terraces and destroy them, but do not finish them off. Prune away her shoots, for they do not belong to the Lord. So the fruit that's being given off is not from the Lord. Somebody needs to hear that today. The fruit that is being given, the fruit that is being developed, the fruit that is being seen right now is not from the Lord. He says, don't go after them. Don't go after the false gods. Don't go after them. They are not of Him. They will be cut off. But there's hope, right? We see, do not finish them off. That's the Lord's mercy. That's the Lord's grace right there. He's not finishing you off. He's not going to finish you off. That's not His will. His will is that you would turn to Him, that you would be pruned, and that you would grow, that you would accept the discipline out of His love for you, not for you to be destroyed. But there are consequences to our actions. There are consequences to our actions, and we look to someone else besides the Lord to provide. We will always be lacking. We will always be lacking. You will never find what you need that will satisfy outside of Jesus. You will not. It might satisfy for a little bit. It is not lasting. It is not lasting. He's saying here that they have dealt very treacherously with Him. He is providing, and you are stepping out. He is providing, and you are stepping out. Someone needs to hear that. It says they have contradicted the Lord and insisted it won't happen. Harm won't come to us. We won't see sword or famine. You've been listening to the wrong voices. You've been listening to the wrong words. You've been listening to the wrong spirit. We have to walk in the Spirit. We have to walk in the way of the Lord. And His Spirit matches up with His Word. But understand that God is love. And what is love? Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not boast or envy. It's not arrogant or rude. It's not irritable or resentful. It does not insist on its own way. Okay? We know that God is all of those things. He does not bring hatred. He does not bring deception. He does not bring manipulation. He does not bring confusion. He brings clarity and peace and joy, even in a rebuke, even in your sin, even in your discipline. There is peace, because that comes from Jesus. Okay? So, even though you are receiving a rebuke, you are not being finished off. There is hope for you. There's hope for you. Put your hope in Jesus. Turn back. Turn back. It is not His will for you to walk forward, to place your hand upon the metal stove. Okay? That is not His will for you. Do not self-sabotage. Okay? Somebody needs to hear that. Do not self-sabotage. The Lord is not going to beat you when you come back to Him. The Lord does not beat His sheep. Okay? He is the good shepherd. He does not beat His sheep. He disciplines them out of love. Understand that He loves you. He delights in you. You are cherished. You are chosen. You are a royal priesthood. He wants you to walk in his ways because they are good and they are perfect, not because he wants to control you. Okay? Someone needs to hear that. It's not because he wants to control you. If he wanted to control you, he could, and he would. But that's not his character. He's given you free will for a reason, and he allows you in his love to demonstrate that free will. But free will comes with consequences, okay? Every decision, good, bad, or ugly, comes with a consequence. And the Lord is clearly saying, the way you have been walking is not of him. The people you've been listening to are not of him. It's not his spirit. The Lord does not despise a broken and contrite heart or spirit, okay? So please turn back. Turn back. He loves you. He loves you. He wants to pull you back into his arms. He wants to love on you. He wants to hug on you. He wants to heal your brokenness. He wants to teach you his ways. He wants to commune with you. It's relational. It's relational. It is a breath, you know? You breathe. You're breathing. You're not holding your breath. You aren't in agony because you're guarded by Jesus. You're guarded by his peace and his joy. Turn back.